Right now at 6, rally on campus. UW-La Crosse students taking issue with a presidential statement on protesting.
And a big win for Wisconsin dairy farmers, what the USDA just released.
You're watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now at 6.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for News 8 Now at 6. I'm Emily Brown.
And I'm Ken Kozarowski. Community members gathered for a Stand Up for Science protest at the intersection of West Avenue and Jackson Avenue in La Crosse today. Around the country, thousands of researchers and their supporters are protesting what some say to be anti-science actions by President Donald Trump.
We're out here to show support for science, and we're really concerned about cuts to to federal agencies where a lot of our colleagues work. Our students are affected by not being able to work with the agencies that normally mentor them, and they're really concerned about whether science will continue to be valued.
That would be West Avenue and Jackson Street. By the way, at the Washington, D.C. event, protesters demanded an end to government censorship in scientific research.
Students held a free speech rally today at UWL. The rally happened at the university's clock tower. Students were protesting a comment from President Donald Trump. He's threatening to freeze federal funding to schools that allow illegal protests. In 2023 and into 2024, college campuses became hotspots for protests over the Israel-Hamas war, some becoming confrontational. Students we spoke to said free speech is a civil right.
I want equity for everybody. Free speech is also involved in that. I've never interfered with the delivery of other people on whatever avenues they want to advocate. And out here, we're here for a good cause to advocate for our avenue.
UWL did react to the rally, saying, quote, protests and the free exchange of ideas are hallmarks of the University of Wisconsin and our commitment to supporting free expression under the First Amendment.
New details about the CNA accused of hitting an Alzheimer's patient at Riverside Transitional Care in La Crosse. The criminal complaint says 34-year-old Damian Lately hit a female resident in the face in January. He reportedly admitted doing it out of frustration. The resident suffered cuts to her lips. Lately, who is free on a $2,500 bond, is facing an elderly abuse charge.
La Crosse's Historic City Brewing could soon change hands as financial troubles mount at the local landmark. According to Bloomberg, City Brewing, which produces White Claw and Pabst, is in talks with creditors who may take control of the company. This is the brewery's second financial restructuring since borrowing $115 million last April. The company also faces ongoing pressure from officials over odor problems at its water treatment plant.
The Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater La Crosse breaking ground on a new addition. The 16,000 square foot Life Workforce Readiness Center will be added to the Terry Erickson Club. The $14 million facility will include innovation, construction, and media labs to help prepare local kids for future careers.
It's an awesome feeling to be where we are today. There's been a lot of work that's gone into this so far to design the building, to get the community support, and really just figure out how to deliver this incredible gift to the community.
The new center is scheduled to open in early 2026 and will serve thousands of area youth every year.
Wisconsin lawmakers are celebrating the release of USDA grants for Wisconsin dairy businesses. Tammy Baldwin and Derek Van Orden both say the USDA has released previously frozen funding for the Dairy Business Innovation Initiative. They each took credit in separate statements for pushing the Secretary of Agriculture to release the money. Baldwin's statement criticized the Trump administration for creating a, quote, totally unnecessary problem for state farmers. $6.5 million will now reimburse 88 dairy businesses for projects to develop and market dairy products.
Egg prices could start dropping by next month. That's the word from the USDA. One of the reasons why a demand for eggs will slow down after Easter. The USDA says prices could fall to $2.50 for a dozen. But right now, the national average for a dozen large eggs is $4.95, and local restaurants like Java Vino are now implementing surcharges of 50 cents per egg to cope.
Over overall, most areas had a nice Friday. We had a little bit of light snow for areas south of I-90 toward like Prairie du Chien, but that has since left the area, and most areas now are a little bit of clouds or clear skies this evening and really pleasant conditions for this time of March. Overall, high temperatures, a little bit cooler to the south due to the clouds lingering a little bit longer into the early afternoon. Otherwise, most of the other parts were in the mid 40s into the upper 30s to further north. So all in all, a little bit above average, but fairly close for this time of year. Really going to be a pleasant evening too. Continuing conditions just slowly going back to 30 degrees. Not much of a wind chill out there, not much of a cloud either at both locations. For Eau Claire, getting back down to about 26, once again with clear skies at about 10 p.m. Overall night lows will be a little bit warmer than last night. Not too much of a difference, but much colder up to the north given the snow cover. About 10 degrees Ladysmith, but almost the rest of the areas will be in the 20s with some of the other spots being into the teens too. A few more clouds towards the morning, but all in all, fairly quiet conditions. And tomorrow, more wind in the afternoon, more clouds, a little weak system comes through, and it'll just be an increase in the winds, but we'll still get up to the upper 40s, near 50 for one area. And later on, we'll break down 50s or 60s are back. We have a dry period, but we might have some storms coming by next Friday, too.
All right, a few things to break down. Thanks, Greg. Well, Houston, Minnesota is all set for one hoot of a weekend. The International Festival of Owls is soaring back to Houston's International Owl Center. Since 2003, this annual celebration has been a staple for the community, starting as a hatch party for Alice, the great horned owl. The executive director says her favorite part of the fest is getting to learn new things.
My favorite part of the festival is those experts that come in from elsewhere, because then we get to learn from the experts about what's going on in Nepal or in Colorado about these small mountain owls that we don't have here. So we're learning along with everybody else.
The festival continues tomorrow with a chance to meet some real-life owls and even participate in an owl nest box building.
Well, 2 opportunities for some spring cleaning at Western Technical College today. The college hosted a drive-through event for clothing and electronic donations. Western's Basic Needs team is collecting new or used professional clothing. It will go to students and the public who need attire for job interviews and other professional occasions. And there was a collection of old technology items for recycling, like speakers, computers, and gaming systems.
People come through the line here. We unload their vehicles, old electronics or stuff they don't need anymore. We're helping recycle e-waste here. It's a pretty fun event. I mean, we're all having fun here, but we're also doing something productive.
Clothing donations will be available to the students and the public March 19th and March 20th. We'll have times listed on our digital platforms.
Still ahead, a department in limbo.
The latest in the president's push to dismantle the DOE.
The new Nacho Taco Bravo from Taco John's. Our famous beef crispy taco wrapped in a soft tortilla, all held together by refried beans and warm nacho cheese. This is Nacho Average Taco. Get 2 for just $6, only at Taco John's.
Around here, neighbors come together to make each other better. We're taking the same approach with healthcare. Gunderson Health System and Bellin Health have come together to form Amplify Health, giving you more of what's important in healthcare. More caring, more listening, more to feel good about on your way to feeling better. Overall, just a little more heart. Amplify Health by Gunderson. A little empathy changes everything.
This is Curtis O'Brien, a convicted felon. He sexually assaulted a 5-year-old Wisconsin girl multiple times. Judge Susan Crawford could have given him 60 years in prison, but she let him walk. 2 years in prison. That's it. While his victim lives with the scars forever. She even let the predator live across the street from an elementary school. That was Crawford's choice. Another dangerous decision from Susan Crawford, putting all our kids at risk. She's just wrong for Wisconsin.
We all have a friend who loves the McDonald's hot, crispy Filet-O-Fish. My friend, you could be that friend.
Hurry in and get 2 Filet-O-Fish sandwiches for just $6.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
The future of the nation's Department of Education is in limbo. President Trump was vocal during his campaign about wanting its closure. And now in the Oval Office, he's vowed to sign an executive order soon to formalize its dismantling.
Across the nation, educators, families, lawmakers, legal teams, and students themselves are weighing their next moves as the funding, services, programs, and loans they rely on could come to a halt. As Laura Aguirre explains, the department's new secretary says she's in agreement that her own job and the hundreds she's oversees are expendable.
Do we need this department?
No.
Education Secretary Linda McMahon on Fox News this morning, backing her boss on his plans to level her department.
Ultimately, we want to close the Federal Department of Education.
Promises on the campaign trail last fall could soon be signed as a presidential executive order. As for the nearly 4,300 employees working for McMahon,
in a country where we right now have over 8 million openings and jobs, I think there'd be a lot of places for them to go. We'd like to help them get there.
she suggests the nation isn't getting its money's worth from the DOE.
Since the Department of Education was established in 1980, we've spent over $1 trillion to see our scores continue to go down.
She is wrong.
Lisa Quant is a special education teacher in Illinois.
You cannot base everything on this testing. That's absolutely ludicrous.
McMahon points to the nation's report card, also called the NAEP, which for 2024 shows overall scores ticking up and down or staying the same in subjects like math and reading, depending on the grade level. Quant says other critical services eclipse test scores.
Things like occupational therapy, speech and language, mental health support.
What he's doing.
We'll have more on that tonight at 10. Still to come, spring break is upon us.
What experts say to look out for to keep your travel plans safe.
Definitely feel more like spring around here for the next week. We got temperatures 50s, even 60s, and we might even see a few thunderstorms towards the end of next week. We'll break all that down coming up on your First Warn Weather Update after the break.
Increase your home's energy efficiency and enjoy year-round comfort with Asher Lasting Exteriors. Receive up to 20% off your entire project, plus no money down, no payments, and no interest for up to 12 months. Request a free, no-obligation consultation at goasher.com.
T-Mobile is very reliable.
It's always nice to know that T-Mobile has us covered.
I love the fact that my family and I, we can stay connected just about anywhere we want to go.
My network is my lifeline.
And after investing billions to light up our network from big cities to small towns, T-Mobile is America's largest and fastest 5G network. See for yourself. Right now, get 4 free phones plus 4 lines for $25 per line when you switch.
When she was a lawyer, Susan Crawford defended Planned Parenthood.
And she personally trusts women to decide whether to have an abortion.
Not Brad Schimmel.
He wants to take us back to the 1849 law
that bans abortion for rape and the health of the mother.
So Susan Crawford is the common sense judge who will protect our rights. And Brad Schimmel is the extremist who will take them away.
That's why we need
Susan Crawford. Susan Crawford.
Susan Crawford on the Supreme Court.
Wisconsin, one of those places where families spend their winters among frozen lakes and snow-covered hills. With all the fun they're having, it's easy to take for granted how they warm up by the fire or simply adjusting their thermostat. But for some of us, it's not that easy. Some of us need to decide whether to heat or to eat, or to further neglect our basic survival needs. We are working families, elderly, disabled, and veterans, all struggling to pay record heating bills. These dangerous temperatures aren't just uncomfortable for us, they can be deadly. If you are struggling to decide if you can put food on the table or heat your home, please reach out for a hand up. No one deserves to suffer when we can help each other.
Increase your home's energy efficiency and enjoy year-round comfort with Asher Lasting Exteriors. Receive up to 20% off your entire project, plus no money down, no payments, and no interest for up to 12 months. Request a free, no-obligation consultation at goasher.com.
The news continues on News 8 Now. Expect more.
Well, spring break is kicking into high gear this month, but experts are warning of potential travel and safety issues.
AAA reports that 3 of the top 4 U.S. destinations are in Florida, including Fort Lauderdale and Miami. Authorities are increasing enforcement with expensive parking, curfews, DUI checkpoints, and a heavy police presence.
This crackdown follows chaos in recent years, including stampedes and 2 deadly shootings in 2023. Further north, Volusia County officials are sending a strong message to high schoolers heading to Daytona and New Smyrna beaches.
There's also warnings for international travelers heading to popular destinations like Mexico. The State Department giving a level 3 travel advisory, telling Americans to reconsider travel.
Yeah, that sheriff in that Florida part where we didn't get it, I actually heard it. The sheriff essentially said to all those people going to Daytona Beach, we really don't want you here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was the sentiment from the police department there.
It's a good thing you're headed to Disney World then. You're going to be welcome there.
I think
along with millions of other people.
And
right?
you can sort of get it from law enforcement perspective because there is such a high degree influx of people, and they do want everyone to be safe, but I'm sure it's taxing on their resources down there.
Absolutely. Well, you make sure to bring that warm weather back. It is getting warmer out there this weekend, but not Florida-like temps, Greg.
Not too yet soon. In fact, if you remember last year, we actually got up to 70 here early in March too. So records this time of year are typically in the 70s. So we're not going to get anywhere close to that. Potentially next Friday we might, but overall it's still going to get above average for really the next 7 to 8 days here too. Overall tomorrow, this is kind of the start. The temperatures climbing up. We might have a little bit of wind too in the afternoon, breezy condition. There's a weak little system coming through. So more clouds, especially further north you go in the morning, but plenty of sunshine in the afternoon, and the winds will pick up, but still upper 40s to low 50s. So above average, we should be the low 40s for most areas right at this time. Sunday, we're going to climb those temperatures back up even into the 50s. A little bit of wind too once again in the afternoon. Another system kind of passes right to our north, kind of similar to Saturday. The winds will be a little bit west, so we'll warm up even more. So a nice day too. So overall, the weekend is looking mild and quiet, breezy afternoon, but still you can't beat these temperatures, 50s on Sunday. And if you want the 60s, we got that on Monday, right before a cold front comes through, probably early Tuesday or Monday night. We're looking at temperatures mid-60s potentially for a lot of areas. A little bit cooler up to the north and west. That front will be getting closer towards the end of the part of Monday. But all in all, the winds will pick up out of the southwest. But when this front comes through Monday night, we're not expecting any precipitation with it. It's just going to cool us down and turn the winds around. So when you go into Tuesday, instead of the 60s, a lot of the areas will be in the 50s, maybe 40s up to the north, 30s as you go further north in the plains. So all in all, a drop, but still, this is still above average. It's just going to be about 10 to 15 degrees from what we had Monday to Tuesday. Now, Wednesday, Thursday, we're going to get back in the 50s. It's a fairly quiet pattern there. Then our attention really turns to Friday, which is kind of interesting because we got another strong low pressure coming out to the plains like we had last week. This one's going to be a little bit different because it's going to be a little bit further west. So right now, still dry through Friday. There's going to be showers potentially developing Friday afternoon. Could be thunderstorms with this, at least Friday evening. Early Friday night will be the opportunity to see that. Severe, it is getting towards that time of the season where it does get a little bit close. I think Iowa and Illinois would have had a better shot with this, but we'll have to keep an eye on that. Then it turns to just rain, light rain, and then showers may continue Saturday and Sunday, and you can't rule out maybe turning to a little bit of snow given that this low is going to be come through. You can kind of see what this looks like. This low begins to get close by Friday p.m. It's right here with the precipitation. We're ahead of it. This would be the time frame where you could see maybe some stronger storms ahead of it. Once this gets close enough, we turn to just rain. It comes right overhead, or at least right now the track would be right overhead, so we'll kind of lighten up that precipitation for Saturday. And as you look at it, most of the snowfall right now seems to be further to the north and west. So I think if you have travel plans that direction, something to keep in mind of for the weekend. Wind, we're going to have a lot of wind coming this Friday and throughout the weekend. So more to come on this system. But in the meantime, enjoy the quiet conditions and the mid-60s. Monday, we'll have another opportunity, probably 60 going into Friday before that system gets close. But all in all, more spring-like conditions throughout the whole next 8 days.
Yeah, looks good. Thanks, Greg. Coming up next in sports, home sweet home. UWL men getting ready to make history tonight in lacrosse. Plus, a Packer legend makes his retirement official with the team that drafted him back in 2007. Jacob is next.
Is it time for new windows or doors? Contact the company who has done the research for you. The best windows and doors installed by the best people. Clear Choice Window and Home Solutions.
You wouldn't buy the first vehicle you saw.
Trust me, it's perfectly safe.
I'll take it. So don't hire the first personal injury lawyer you call.
Trust me.
Where do I sign? Object to anything less than the best. Call BGR.
Searching for gold at the end of the rainbow? Well, you can find it here at the King Furniture St. Patrick's Day sale. Get Shamrock with savings up to 60% off, plus 0% free financing, recliners, sofas, sectionals, and more. It's all here and it's all in stock and ready to be delivered. Plus, shop special savings in our incredible Lazy Boy Showcase. Let the shenanigans begin at the King Furniture St. Patrick's Day sale. Don't miss it.
I'm Sheriff David Zerner with an urgent message. We can't keep you safe when liberal judges refuse to actually punish violent criminals. And Judge Susan Crawford, she's the worst. She continually lets dangerous criminals off easy. 4 years for a man who raped a 6-year-old child. 2 years for a wife beater who also shot a man. Only 90 days for a man who strangled a woman. With judges like Susan Crawford putting violent criminals back on the streets, we can't keep you safe.
Tell Judge Crawford to stop releasing dangerous criminals.
I'm Mike Rowe, and this is the most honest commercial you're going to see all week.
Today, we're waterproofing a basement.
How long do you think this problem has been a problem?
Well, actually, the homeowner told us that she's lived here for 42 years, and when they first moved in, they had water issues.
Yeah.
That is like your telltale sign of like, hey, I'm having an issue, and that's when people should call.
Get a free and honest inspection with Innovative Basement Authority, a Groundworks company.
Hiring the wrong personal injury attorney can cost you a lot. Researching personal injury attorneys costs you nothing. We're confident that your research will lead you to buy Goff and Rooney. BGR, object to anything less than the best.
Covering all the exciting action from your community. Here's News 8 Now Sports with Jacob Lenzendorf.
Obviously a big night on the high school boys basketball side of things tonight in regional semifinal action, and we'll have a ton of highlights later in the Friday Night Frenzy, but there is some history happening at the Lacrosse Center tonight as well. It's the first time in program history that UW Lacrosse is hosting an opening weekend of games in the NCAA Division III tournament, thanks to their #2 seed. In about a half an hour, the Eagles will take on 20-7 Greenville. Panthers, the #1 team in the country in scoring offense at 117.9 points per game. It's a true test tonight in the area that head coach JT Gritzmacher thinks his team needs to rely on in the postseason.
Offense is good. You got to score points, but at this level, you're going to be all over the place. The team that guards the best is going to win the games, and you got to guard for 40 minutes because really it's 6 one-game tournaments. Like you can't even look at it like 2 games. It's 6 one-game tournaments, and if you go 5-10 minutes without guarding, like there's a chance you go home. So we just got to really, really lay our head on, taking pride on defense, and if we do that, I think we'll be in a good spot.
It's UWL's 4th appearance in the national tournament. They're going for their 2nd win at the Big Dance in school history. Well, today in Titletown, the man that owns the title of all-time leader in games played, career points, field goals, and extra points, Mason Crosby retired as a Green Bay Packer. He played in 258 straight games between 2007 and 2022, which included 23 playoff appearances. It all started back in 2007 when he was picked 193rd overall, and as they say, the rest is history.
I am a culture, team, a relationship guy, and that's why Green Bay was perfect for me. I chose to stay here over and over again. I never went to free agency until my last year. I chose this place as it chose me, and God's plan was set in place a long time ago that this was where I was supposed to be, and I'm thankful for that every day.
All right, we got the Play of the Week winner this week, which is Kennedy Garber. She had a clutch performance on the beam to lift West Salem's Gymnastics Co-op to a second-place finish at sectionals as well, a 9.075. So good work from her.
Yeah.
And it was a packed sports today, so we got that. We also have the UWL women, which won earlier today in their first round of the Division III tournament. So a lot going on. Join the fun later as well for the Friday Night Frenzy.
A loaded Friday Night Frenzy. I was just looking at how many games you got on tap tonight. It's quite a doozy.
Gonna be fun.
Yes.
Gonna be fun.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, Greg has a final look at your forecast right after this.
Get the day's news in your inbox. Email newsletters from News 8 Now. Sign up today. Go to news8000.com/newsletters to get started.
Huh. Looks like the Millers got some new furniture. And the Garcias? What? The Tippleworths? Orange Days.
Honey! Orange Days are here. Ashley's biggest sale of the year. Don't miss it.
When it's time to celebrate, Pizza Ranch is ready. We've got plenty of room and plenty of food for everyone. With pizza, desserts, and the country's best chicken, everyone leaves a winner. Make it a buffet day at Pizza Ranch.
Our birth moms were young. Being pregnant at 18, I wouldn't know what to do. And that's when our mom and dad adopted us.
I can't imagine facing that decision. Mackenzie and Haley are my greatest blessings. I'm personally grateful for the choice their birth mothers made. But a judge's job is to apply the law, not make the law. The people of Wisconsin, through referendum or their elected representatives, should decide the question of abortion. I'm Brad Schimmel, and I will respect the will of the people.
Huh. Looks like the Millers got some new furniture. And the Garcias? What? The Tippleworths? Orange Days.
Honey! Orange Days are here. Ashley's biggest sale of the year. Don't miss it.
All right, it should be pretty quiet tonight. A little bit milder maybe than last night. Mid-20s for most locations. Up to the north, they could get maybe into the low to mid-teens. Quiet conditions, a few more clouds to the morning hour. Otherwise, the weekend, minus the afternoon, some breezes, 40s to 50s, and then Monday, 60s before a cold front comes through and knocks the temperatures back down a little bit, but still 50, and that's still above average.
Yeah.
And precipitation-wise, really have to wait till about next Friday afternoon, Friday night to see another system come. So it's a dry stretch, but also mild stretch too.
Hard to believe we had 7 inches of snow in Menominee just the other day.
Crazy.
Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you at 10.